This is Emily
and Stephanie,
and today we're going to follow up with the Booktube tag, My Life in Books. And I think the general premise of the whole is that we come up with according to a ready, steps, and list, right, of I guess standards, and then come up with a book that relates to each one.
So let me just go on a little bit about it. So we weren't actually tagged anything, but I saw this tag, and I was curious to do it for ourselves, which is why we're doing this one. And I think the original person who did this, their video got taken down, but the other tags are still out there. So let us begin. The first question was, find a book for each of your initials. My initial was SW, so for S I picked The Serpent King by Jeff Zentner, and for my last name W I picked Wanted by Cindy Pon. Both of these picks were ones I haven't read yet, and these are books I want to read. So I was actually curious. I was actually debating if I want to pick books that I've read or books that are on my TBR list. So I decided to go with that because I realized that I have more books I want to read than books I have read. So basically, The Serpent King is about it's something to do with like brief synopsis is something about like wrestling with vipers, and it's a coming of age novel. And as for Wanted by Cindy Pon, it's about a sci-fi where the rich buy these suits that kind of protects them from the environment, like pollution and whatnot, and they use money to really extend their lives. And the main protagonist, Jason Zoe, which I also appreciate because Asian representation, basically wanted to change this and decided to infiltrate the corporation who were building these suits, and obviously kind of falls in love with the corporation's daughter. So you really see, how this goes. I'm really curious for both books. So those are my two picks.
Okay. So I actually went the opposite direction of you. I picked books that I've read before.
I think I had to pick up that.
Okay. So for me, my initials, there's actually three. It's first name, middle name, and then last name. Okay. So my first name is Emily, and for the E, I chose Ender's Game by Austin Scott Card. That's more of a sci-fi story. For F, I chose Fallen by, I think, Kristen Scott. It's one of those fantasy trilogies. And then for G, I read Gone with the Wind by Margaret Mitchell. And so for the first one was a sci-fi, I guess semi YA new adult sort of book. It kind of revolves around a child in the future being picked to fight against an alien invasion, and how that goes about. I liked it. And then
the movie was good too.
The movie was good, yeah. I liked Ender's Game a lot. So for Fallen, it kind of goes along with the paranormal romance trilogies. It's actually a pretty good read. I would say that at that time, Twilight was pretty popular, which is why I kind of picked it up. And 3 was Gone with the Wind. The story itself revolves around main anti-hero protagonist, Scarlett O'Hara. I remember her. And then her exploits in trying to keep her reservation Terra on sort of there throughout the entire Civil War, through all the perils of Reconstruction, and then trying to let it thrive while her relationships kind of fell apart.
So for our next question, it was count your age along your bookshelf. Which book is it? My pick was, the book on my bookshelf was Phoenix by S.F. Sade. I decided to go off the bookshelf that I have still yet to read, as opposed to the bookshelf that I have finished. I have 2 bookshelves. So basically a brief synopsis according to Goodreads is, the supernova is coming, one boy alone can save the galaxy. Lucky thinks he's an ordinary human boy, but one night he dreams that the stars are singing and wakes to find an uncontrollable power rising inside him. Now he's on the run, running through space, searching for answers. In a galaxy at war where humans and aliens are deadly enemies, the only people who can help him are an alien starship crew with an alien warrior girl with neon needles in her hair. Together, they must find a way to save the galaxy. For Lucky, it is For Lucky is not the only one in danger. His destiny and the fate of the universe are connected in the most explosive way.
And then, so for me, I guess this kind of speaks to how, I guess, mischievous and young and not growing up I am. Ended up picking Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
That was on your bookshelf?
Yeah, that was on my bookshelf from like a really long time ago.
The next question, number 3 is pick a book set in your city, state, or country. For mine, I picked the city, New York City, which I love New York City because I feel like a lot of books are set in this area, so which is awesome. I picked the book Before the Devil Breaks You by Liba Bray, mainly because I just read the first 2 books of the Diviner series. This is book 3, so I'm really excited to finish. I don't know if it's the last book in the series, but basically the whole story follows along with these diviners who kind of have like supernatural powers. Some of them can like walk, like they're dream walkers. Some of them can like they have that ability where they can like read its item. They touch it and they know like where it's been, its history, etc. So like these are a group of teenagers who have these like supernatural powers, and they kind of try to save New York City in the 1920s. It's like the Flappers era. So it's very interesting.
Like cyberpunk?
No. It's completely set in the 1920s in New York City.
I picked for, I also chose New York City as my setting, and I ended up picking The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. So for her stories generally are involved, like this was her one novel that she wrote. She's more well known as a poet. And it's set in the 1960s when like there was like the Red Scare, etc. And it basically follows a girl's journey through her time at a pretty well-known magazine like Mademoiselle, and how she like writes like philosophical essays for them. And she's one of the first set of women, I guess, or maybe the second cohort of women at the time to really go to college, and what that really means for her as a highly intelligent yet restricted woman. Okay,
so the next question was pick a book that represents a destination you would love to travel to. There are a lot of places I want to travel to, so it was really difficult for me to pick one book. But I decided to go with Ireland and Scotland, mainly because have you read Outlander?
Yeah.
So like that whole Scotland thing. Anyways, so I decided to go off of that route, and I picked the book The Book Jumper by Mechfeld Glasser. I'm totally butchering her name wrong, but anyway, it basically follows the story of a girl called Amy Lennox who gets uprooted from Germany to Scotland to live with her grandmother. And during that time there, she realized that she has an ability where she can literally jump into books and interact with the stories, characters themselves. And she finds a boy, obviously, who has the same ability as she does, and they kind of, go into this whole like mystical thing where they're trying to save the world because there's something like creepy, crawly lurking between all the books that they're jumping through, and they're trying to just kind of escape and save the world. So
my pick was more related to where I was actually going to travel this year. So I'm actually aiming to try to travel to Tokyo again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Sometime in November.
Oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. Or maybe not, but just either Tokyo or New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up choosing Tokyo just because I again through my already read list. Yeah. I New Zealand. It was insanely hard to find fiction on. I could not find one for some reason. And
same here.
Kiwi fiction, you guys keep writing where is it?
I actually was going to do one from Australia/New Zealand, but I couldn't find a book.
Really? Okay, I know Australia. There's tons of
Well, a book that I haven't read yet that interested me. That's on my TBR list.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I couldn't find one.
Yeah. So in terms of my literary bookshelf, apparently I just lack a lot of understanding of that part of the world.
Right, same here.
So unfortunately I had to go more, well not unfortunately, but I had to go more with Tokyo, which was my other selection. So the book I did read, and it was a monstrosity, it was 1Q84 Haruki Murakami. And he's written actually a great amount of series of books. I've read most of them, but this book itself stands out because it was just really long. And
is it fiction?
It is fiction, and it's really his take on 1984 and a sort of Japanese related twist as to and a contemporary take on the.
Anyway, continue.
1984 is necessary though, but it's one of those books that he kind of like did like, you know how like there's like a retelling for fantasy? He did a retelling of that sort of book, but in like a modern Japanese way. And so it revolves around like 4 main characters, which we won't go into too much about, but each of them play like a very central role, like 1 being like this philosopher, 2 being like the action, like the actual activist, 3 being like the corrupt like cult leader or like believer, like he's like the believer but he's corrupt because even though he believes he's not doing anything wrong. And then it follows like the related daughter of the cult leader and how like that all ends up intertwining into this like core story. But at first, when you first learn about them, they're all very like separate stories happening in the city of Tokyo, so or happening around the Tokyo area. So I would say that in general, after reading the book, I got a greater sense of like, I guess, the ambiance of what Tokyo meant to this author. And then also like overall like how Japan itself like feels about certain things.
Anyways, next question is, pick a book that's your favorite cover. This was kind of a really odd question, mainly because my favorite color is blue, and let me tell you, there are a lot of covers out there that are blue.
Oh, were they about covers? I thought we were supposed to find a book with like the title of the color in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, mine was based, I picked mine based on
whatever, it doesn't matter.
Okay, well, we clearly went through it at different angles. I don't know who's correct, but I mean, it kind of, either way, I think it's based on your own interpretation.
Yeah, so what was yours?
So mine was Traveler by L.E. Delano. Basically, it's a book about sci-fi and time traveling. Clearly, you can see a theme here. Most of my books are about sci-fi. Basically, it talks about Jess, where she found out that she's a traveler, where she's able to slide through like reflections and dreams into alternate realities. And so it's not really like time traveling, but it's more like being able to travel between all parallel universes. And so she meets this guy who is trying to save her because apparently in every single alternate universe she dies. And so he is trying to, and like obviously they're in love, and so he's trying to find any way to save her and hope to save her in this particular universe. So it's kind of a sci-fi alternate parallel universe romance novel, and it sounds kind of interesting, so we shall see.
Cool. So I went and approached this question in a different fashion. I actually thought we were supposed to choose a book that had the word
in it.
Which
probably makes more sense, but anyways, continue.
It doesn't matter. But I ended up choosing A Clockwork Orange by Anthony Burgess. It has like a really famous film of the same title named after it. If you watch it, you'll see that it's very like 1960s kind of like, it's very much like that drug era, like drug high era, and like all the stories that come out of it are very like intense, very grotesque, very like tech versus like traditional, like fighting against like extremist traditionalism with like their like need to like rebel extremely, like having like there's like certain episodes where like there's a very explicit scenes too in the story itself. So I would say that like overall it wasn't the most fun read I've ever had when I did read it, but it definitely made the film way more engaging.
Okay. Well, the next question is pick a book. Which book do you have the fondest memories of? And my pick was actually the Red Wall series by Brian Jacques.
That's cute.
Because I think sorry, it's like such an old classic.
Animals.
Yeah, they're like talking animals where you follow along with like talking like mice and like ravens, and it was a book I read when I was in 4th grade, by the way. So like it was definitely one of the series I remember reading very fondly about, because I actually there are so many. I actually recently went to check how many books there were it was done. I don't think the guy's finished the series.
Okay.
It's still ongoing.
He's still alive.
Yeah.
So
like, well, I think he's still alive. I didn't really check. I just know that I checked a few years ago, and the series was still ongoing. And I was just like, oh my god, I feel like I should go back and read it, because I feel like it's such a classic.
Yeah.
You know, the childhood classic. So I really like the series. If you haven't checked it out yet, you should totally check it out.
I think it's so underappreciated.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So, but there's such good books.
And for me, I actually ended up choosing Animorph.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, you know, I was actually like, I think a few years ago I was watching the series.
Oh, really?
They have a series on Netflix.
I had no idea.
Yeah, that was series on Netflix. I think it only has like 15 episodes or something, very little, and I was just like watching it going like, what is going on here? Because also each episode is really short. I think they're only like 20 minutes or something like that.
Okay.
But
yeah, I was going to choose either Babysitter's Club or Animorphs, but I always liked Animorphs more. I don't know why the Babysitter's Club never was like as big of a thing for me. I don't know. Maybe it was really that was exciting, but Animorphs definitely wins me over. Mostly because there was like mystery and science fiction involved, and then the changes in animals, which I don't know why. It's really like that.
I
was
thought
fascinating.
Really cool.
Yeah, that was fascinating. It was like,
oh,
it's like
you can like
fly.
touch into anything and get the DNA and then change into it.
Yeah,
and that's super cool.
And then you get to fly.
And like the weird aliens.
Oh yeah, but that was like that's like a pretty classic idea. Like,
well, yeah, that too. But like the fact that they can also change.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. So overall, like that series, I think finally ended when I was in like.
Ended? Oh really? Oh.
8th grade, 9th grade maybe, but it ended like pretty late in my like teens.
Next question is, which book did you have the most difficulty reading? Funny thing, I actually when I was compiling this list of books, I had just finished reading All Grown Up, so that's the book I chose.
Alright. Freedom of choice.
So if you're interested in checking out our review for it and understand why I didn't like it, feel free to check it. But it's All Grown Up by Jamie Attenberg, so
okay,
that was my pick.
Okay. For me, I actually would have to go with Ulysses by James Joyce. So like I finally finished it sometime. It's like a classic, but I feel like everyone would agree with me that it was like an extremely hard read. It's like it's like, have you heard of Moby Dick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have I ever heard of it? Yeah, of course. I mean, I never read it because I was just like.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those type of books.
Next and final question, number 8. Which book in your TBR pile will give you the biggest sense of accomplishment when you finish it? I picked the Lunar Chronicle series by Marissa Meyer mainly because one, they're very, very long books. I think it's like 4 or 5 books, and they're all ridiculously long. And second, everyone has already read it, and I'm still like, I haven't even picked up the first book yet. So like, definitely like on those 2 counts, I get a sense of accomplishment.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to bring a very heavy note to this discussion yet again, but I think the book that would give me the biggest accomplishment, because I never finished reading it, is the Quran. It's a book.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like I've read the Bible, I've read like all these other texts that are related to like other cultures, but I've never really finished the Quran, and it's like super, super long.
Okay.
So it's like as like my understanding, because like I'm trying to write something, right?
Yeah.
So like regardless of like I guess how it kind of goes along with like other things, like as like a literary text, it's just like I need to finish reading this because there's stories involved, there's anecdotes, and I was trying to answer the questions honestly.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I just wanted to finish that. If I finished that, I'd be like, all right, good, cool, great. I can talk now.
Okay. Those are our picks for the My Life in Books tag. Let us know if you have done this yourself, which books you'll pick for each question. We'll list the questions down below. But yeah, that's it. I actually really do like doing the book tags, like the questions, just because it's kind of like it's so different and you kind of talk about different stuff. So rather than like,
and it's I already knew that we have very different like book tastes, but like at this point it was literally like, oh, like you have to actually go out there and like, explore yourself. Like, what kind of reader are you? But yeah, overall, like if you like or want to comment on some of the things that we've said so far, definitely find yourself down below in comments. We'll definitely reply. And yeah, each new video each week, so subscribe.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
That's like our favorite saying.
Yes. Anyways, bye everyone.
Bye.